Good morning, good morning. Happy Wednesday. Happy spring Wednesday, I would have to say. I don't know about you folks, but I just got back from a little dog walk and I'm looking outside and I'm like, is that great? Wasn't it just 90 degrees like just 2 days ago? Anywho, if this is your first time joining us, hello, my name is Sadie Arabian. I'm the media producer for the Los Angeles Regional SBDC. The SBDC is a national program with over 1,000 locations across the country, helping to stimulate economic growth through business advising and development. The LASBDC offers no-cost services through funding provided by the U.S. Small Business Administration, SBA, and from the California Office of the Small Business Advocate. It's your tax dollars at work. The Los Angeles Regional SBDC network operates 7 service locations throughout Los Angeles, Santa Barbara, and Ventura counties. Our services are also offered virtually. We are here to help. We empower small business owners by offering tailored solutions through personalized one-on-one business advising, cutting-edge workshops, and comprehensive programs, all provided at no cost. We are dedicated to supporting your entrepreneurial journey every step of the way. So on that note, good morning, Lori. How are you? Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday to you and hello everybody. So let's see. Sadie and I were just do we say laughing before the show, Sadie? Would we use the word laughing?
Yeah, I don't know if we use the word laughing because that wouldn't seem professional and
Yeah.
SBDC, but we were just was it ruminating? We were ruminating.
Yeah, we were ruminating. So, as before I get into my announcements for today, guess what? We don't have today. We don't have a guest. The guest mysteriously didn't show up. So, guess what, guys? It's us. I told Sadie, I always say, okay, here I am, and we'll end it in 10 minutes. And you guys want to ramble on about a whole bunch. So, that's the coolest. So, start putting into the chat or the question anything you want to talk about today. Ask Lori anything day, a surprise. Ask Lori anything day. So I do have some things because I can ramble on, right? I can ramble on. So I got some rambling. So I will start on my rambling and then what we'll do. Oh, wait. Simon says he's here. Where are you, Simon?
Where are you, Simon? Maybe he logged in with a different address.
He did. Where are you, Simon? Okay, Sadie, you work it through with Simon and get Simon in. Okay, we got a guest. We got a guest. Hello. Simon's coming in. I'm going to start my area and Sadie, you take care of it. Okay. And I'm going to just get started. Okay, guys. Oh, what a fun day it is. Um, Here we go with the share. I just love being able to just go with the poll, go with the roll. Okay, CFO series as soon as Sadie's done. Oh, Simon's there. Great. Okay, awesome. Hang out, Simon. We almost thought we lost you. Okay, CFO series. Sadie's going to put it into the chat as soon as she gets done with anything she's doing over there. I think she's got it under control. Upcoming shows. April's really fun. We got Simon today, who's going to talk a lot about wealth and wellness, and it kicks off kind of the beginning of the month when Tiara comes back on when the mind clicks. And so we're really talking about, the mindset, the health, the mental aspect of being an entrepreneur. Have to have Zamara back on because, of course, we got to talk about AB5. And there's a whole lot of new rules too, as always. So I wanted her to come back on and catch us all up. And Sebastian hasn't been on for a very long time. I kind of want to talk about funding and going over what's available, what's not available, the good, bad, and ugly when it comes to funding. Speaking of which, Lori's Corner. Okay, you ready, guys? Here is Lori's Corner for today, and I am going to do my usual. So those of you who are frequent flyers, here comes the quart of milk, guys. Here comes the quart of milk. And actually, I didn't get to talk to Simon before the show. So Simon, this is a little clue. I'm going to rant, and then I'm thinking maybe you're going to be able to pick up my rant with what you're seeing with clients. So now I have you real time hearing that. So you ready, Simon? I'm going with
Absolutely.
my rant. Okay, here I'm going. Because I cannot believe, Simon, that my rant isn't going to hit some kind of chord with what you're hearing from clients, and you will have some comment to add to my rant. Okay, guys, here we go. Let's rant. Okay. Like I said, I want to talk about something that my frequent flyers on the show, I know I talk about all the time. Once again, my reason for bringing this up is due to an intense 2 weeks again with individuals that are in trouble over legal filings. But it's not just about legal filings. This is about a mindset. This is what I'm seeing today, guys. And I'm old, man. I've been at this for a long time. I've never seen this stuff. And I say that all the time. In the last 10 years, I have never seen what I've seen happening. And this is what happens. A common aspect, somebody gets a spark of an idea. That's awesome. That's entrepreneurship. We love that. But what they do, and I have no problem with this next part, so follow me on this. They get an idea. I see them, whether or not they do the step. It's not about this next step. They run it through Chat GPT. I just happen to hear that. I'm not an AI, Luddite. It's not about that. But what happens is they get a thumbs up, and so they go, okay, I got an idea. Chat GPT says it's great. What do I do first? I know. I set up an LLC. I apply for a business license. I even see them filing patents and trademarks, all before they ask the most basic questions. Who is actually going to buy this? How will I make money from it? Do I have or can I get the cash to actually make it happen? Years ago, it wasn't like this. People would sit down, they'd vet the business opportunity, they'd even talk to some potential customers, run the numbers, and do an honest reality check on whether they have the money or the path to funding. And sometimes the conclusion was, man, this is a great idea. It really is a great idea, but I don't have the resources right now, so I'm going to pass. And that was considered smart, not a failure. That was considered smart. But today, with social media and easy online tools, it feels like the first step is form an LLC instead of validate the idea. I had a client just this week used ChatGPT, brainstormed a business, loved the output, and filed an LLC and thought they could move forward with $0 in the bank for a prototype and a patent. I was kind of in shock, guys. Didn't even realize there was fees involved in forming the LLC. That's a really tough way to learn. So what I'm seeing a lot is getting these papers in place, the LLC, the business license, the legal document. It's like giving people this strong feeling that they're moving forward. They're getting things accomplished. They actually come to me so excited. I'm doing so good. I had everything set up, but I have to say, having a legal structure when you're not even doing real business yet isn't actually moving closer to your dream. Simon, that's where I'm going to have you pick up. Companies like LegalZoom are very good at selling this emotion. Your company's now real, but the truth is it's not real. You know what I say to you guys? If your business can't buy a quart of milk, you don't have a real company yet. So you really need to do a reality check before you spend time and money on a legal setup, license, prototypes. Pause and do the hard but necessary work. And if you're in business, before you expand, I'm not even just talking about startups, before you expand, talk to at least 20 to 50 potential customers. Figure out exactly what the problem you solve and whether they'll pay for it. Build a simple, realistic plan that includes how you'll fund the startup, even if it's bootstrapped slowly. And most importantly, ask yourself, is this going to be profitable enough to provide the income I need? And when will it actually happen? If the numbers don't add up, the demand isn't there, or the timeline to profitability is unrealistic, it's okay to shelve the idea for now. It's not quitting. That's being a smart business owner. So the bottom line is a well-vetted idea with a realistic path to cash and profitability is worth far more than some fancy LLC with nothing behind it. Take the time up front to do it right. You'll save yourself a lot of stress and money in the long run, and you've got it. Slow down, ask the tough questions, and build something that actually has a chance to succeed. Simon, hello. I really thought we missed you. I figured because I was telling Sadie, I go, he's possibly in England, and our emails didn't come. I go, I'm not going to call England this morning. We're just going to, rebook you. So glad to have you here this morning.
I'm very glad to be here. So I don't know what happened in the logistics side of things, but yeah, all good. All life is good.
I love it.
Yeah,
Is when I was looking there, it's like, I'm here, I'm here. I was telling Sadie,
yeah,
what I'm going
yeah,
to chat about today. So,
yeah,
when I was saying and I want to go into your background, I kind of, set your little bio aside because I didn't
yeah.
think I'd be reading it, but I'm going to go in your background here. And one of the things I want to add on before we go into our discussion is what I was thinking about when I was writing today is, the old story where the kid says, Mom, I'm going to be an astronaut and I'm going to be a president and I'm going to be a fireman. And you have to kind of not say anything to dissuade their dreams, but kind of give a healthy dose in, honey, you can't be it all. You can do a lot, but you can't do everything. And I think somehow, somewhere in the small business community, the dreams got a action feet running before they were actually thought out. And I'm seeing so much of it now. My area of expertise is legal structures, right? So I see a lot of this. It's like a doctor, right? But that's where I think it's really interesting. So I am going to read a little introduction to you because we want to
Okay.
learn about you for those that are not familiar with you. I love the way we're actually starting the show today. This is kind of fun. I don't have a guest. I have a guest. I like this. Let's do this every week, Sadie. This is much more fun than the normal go with the roll. Okay. In association with the best-selling wealth and wellness book, Simon provides complimentary, relevant, and specific resources, coaching, strategies, and techniques. With a background in business operations and marketing and a heart for helping others, Simon blends insight, structure, and proven systems to guide entrepreneurs out of burnout and into sustainable success. He also is a dedicated partner and father who knows firsthand the importance of building a business that works for your family, not against it. And so as I read your bio, Simon, this is why I think this is also a topic true to you, because you've been a business owner. You're not just coaching.
Mhm.
And by the way,
Yeah.
is Emma out there? Emma, yeah,
Hi,
there's
Emma.
Emma. Yeah, there's Emma. Where did we learn about Simon? From Emma. And we all know we love Emma. So I had to make sure I made a call out to Emma. So, Simon, welcome to the show. So glad
Thank
to
you.
have you here. I'm so glad we didn't mess you up logistically. I was actually worried that we had. I thought for sure we had messed
No,
you
not
up.
at all. All is good. All is good over here in very sunny England, in the northeast of England. It is gorgeous. It's very Californian weather over here at the moment. But yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah. I was interested. I was listening to what you were saying there, and it everything you said sort of drew me to one place, which is the biggest enemy of the business owner. And the biggest enemy of the business owner is their own ego. And
Uh,
what you tend to find is their ego will tell them that they should go and become an LLC and then go and get branding and then go and do this and do that and do the other. And it's like, but what's your business? Show me your business. Like, oh, well, I've got this fancy website built. Well, that's cool, but what's your business? What's
yeah.
the thing? And I think entrepreneurship sometimes does get confused with image a little bit, and sometimes we need to step back and just be three things: humble, hungry, and smart. Like, have the humility, be
Yeah.
comfortable with vulnerability, as in, look, I've got this thing, have I got an audience? Have I got a market? And have I got a message to put out to that market? And have I got something, a product or a service that I know that I can do that? And am I marketing it? And invest in that. If you're only going to get good at two things in business, get good at marketing and sales. That's it. I work with about 250, I think we're at now, businesses across North America, inside of the private practice healthcare, and specifically around things like red light therapy, which is you guys are probably all quite aware of. And the thing that I see a lot is there's too much held on what red light device I have. Not, and I'm like, well, who's it for? Well, we tell them it's got these frequencies and this wavelength and it's this, and it's like, look, I want to shatter everyone's illusion, especially any of you guys who are on this webinar right now who are in a service-based industry. No one cares about the thing that you've got. What they care about is what it will do for them. So when you get at the front end of your market, in the sharp end of your business, the number one rule in marketing: who is my customer? And then we start talking to that customer. You should never stop talking to your customer, because once a customer, always a customer. And very rarely they spend some money, but they're always a customer. So I'm fairly sure every person on this call, if they go into their emails right now, don't do it because, that would be rude. But when you have a minute, go into your emails and there'll be emails every day from businesses that you have interacted with. Costco is my favorite. They email me every single day. I go to Costco 4 times a year, probably, but every single day they email me Because why? Because I am their customer. And they know that if the minute they stop talking to me, I will go somewhere else. So if you really want to put that focus into things, invest in marketing skills and invest in your own sales skills.
Now, one
Because
of the
what you've
things
got is probably very good, the thing that you have.
Now, one of the things that, and you probably don't see this at much in your daily experiences because you're working with people who have some type of invention, some type of product. They have an awareness there's some money that's required for them to go forward with their
Yeah.
business, right?
Yeah.
But what I'm seeing, and it reminds me of that, story I always tell about the high school student out of school or college gets that credit card because the credit card company marks it, but they really don't understand and get themselves in a lot of trouble. That's what it kind of reminds me of now, where social media has and the audience and the situation I'm talking to about and it's not about age, it's the new time entrepreneur that really is following social media, and they get this perception that you can start a company with almost no funds. And what I talk a lot about is that depends on the business model. I mean, I could be a consultant this afternoon, I could be a dog walker, get a leash, get some insurance, right? But there's certain companies that you have to look at. You can't even start it without having adequate funds. So I think we're missing that concept of looking at how much gas has to be in the gas tank to even go somewhere, pending on the business model. Almost like social media doesn't get into the details for this new audience that doesn't have the experience, Simon, to
Yeah.
even know. Because a lot of times I agree with you, it's ego, but I'm finding for me with the clients I'm seeing, a lot of it is they don't even think about it. Like when I mentioned this person, you can't, you can get a pro bono maybe on the patent, but then you got to file it and you have to have the fees. Oh, I didn't even think about that. So that's the scary part. I get this. I didn't even
Yeah.
think about it. Any thoughts that you can share with people on this type of situation?
Yeah. Well, rule number one, don't take life lessons from social media.
I
All
guess a
right.
very
Don't,
good rule.
please
I love
don't. All right.
that.
The thing I would say is probably go if you're new, if you're just getting started and you have something, try and find people that have done it. Surround
Yeah.
yourself with people that have been through it. And they'll tell you what you need to do. They'll keep you right because they've lived it and breathed it. And it's like you say, I've ran two of my own businesses. It was funny what you were saying about setting up the LLC. I'm literally setting up in England. We call it a limited company. I'm literally setting mine up now because of how things have done. 2.5 years ago, I wasn't bothered about setting up a company. I just knew that I had an opportunity to work with a certain bunch of businesses where we can help them with their marketing, with their customer acquisition, with their sales skills, and helping them grow their businesses. We've gone from 40 clients at the January 2024 to 250 in April 2026. I've built a team from 4 people to 27. Right.
Wow, that's
Uh,
phenomenal.
yeah. So, and you do need to, you become the sum of the people you surround yourself with. So if this is something you want to embark on and you really want, you have that, people call it what they call the entrepreneurial spirit, but that drive to go, I can see something. Go and talk to people that have done it. Go and find people that have done it. Get involved in communities like this. There's millions of them out there, in towns and cities all across America, all across the world. Go and talk to people that have done this. What did they learn? What mistakes did they make? That is
Yeah,
where I would put my energy. I
I
think,
love that.
yeah, and honestly, get off Instagram and Facebook. Right? You don't need
I,
it. You do not
I
need it. It's fake.
yeah.
Go and talk to
I
people who are in the trenches.
I love that. If you talk with somebody and you ask them, what kind of money did you have to put into this? Just that question alone can set so many people right.
Yeah.
One of the sentences you said, and I may have captured it a little bit incorrectly, but I love, and Sadie, if you can get this, I love this. You become the sum of the people you surround yourself with. I don't know if I got that word for word,
No,
Simon.
you were
I
perfect. Yeah.
started writing because the minute I heard that, I mean, it's true. We know that, right? But I think we forgot that somehow over the years. That is so true.
Yeah.
And so if you get around the people that are actually have done what you're doing, it makes a big difference. Let's, for the people who haven't met you, talk a little bit about the companies that you have started in the past and have had. It
Mm.
gives them a full understanding of how you got where you are today as well.
Yeah. So my when I first started a business, well, actually, I bought a business that was failing, and I took it over. And then I expanded and opened a second one. As much as I work now in private practice health and wellness arena, and I've done for nearly 10 years, I suppose it is now, I was actually in the wedding industry. So I bought a business that sold wedding dresses. It was struggling. The place that I was working in retail, sort of equivalent of Best Buy in the UK, and one of my good customers said we're getting rid of the shop, and the place that I worked, my wife also worked with me at the same point. She got wind of it and she went, "Oh, there's this place is for sale." Yep. So we bought it. A year later, we owned it, and we rebuilt it. We essentially took it to pieces. We rebuilt it, and the thing that we did more than anything was we invested in our marketing. We invested in our team as well. We hired some really good people, fabulous people who did really well. We had great product, and we put ourselves out there. And the thing that we did really well is we did the things that nobody else wanted to do. So we would attend more wedding fairs than any other company, because they were the worst things to do, because they load the car up and take the mannequins and put the stuff.
Oh,
It took
yeah.
ages, but we did more of them than anybody else. We got out into the community. We went and we put ourselves where we knew our potential customers would be. We spent a lot of money on marketing, and it worked, and we became the biggest independent wedding dress retailer in the northeast of England. And then Simon's entrepreneurial brain went, hold on a second, the vast majority of brides have grooms. Why are we not doing stuff for the guys? So the place next door came up, and I started the menswear side. And my wife said to me, "What do you know about menswear and suits?" And I went, "Absolutely nothing. But what I know is this: we have an audience, and
Yeah.
we're really good at what we do."
Yeah.
So we picked up on that. So I learned, I worked with, and again, what did I do? I went into the trade and I spoke to half a dozen people who ran men's suit shops, hire shops. I learned how to measure. I learned all the everything, immersed myself in it, and opened the second one. The reason we don't have the business anymore, if anyone's wondering, unfortunately, me and my wife got divorced. Divorce, wedding industry doesn't quite match very well for PR. So we sold the businesses, right? We sold it off, and I got into what I'm doing now. But what I learned was that, like I said, as much as I had the best quality suits around, and we had fantastic, beautiful wedding dresses, the things that made us different was how we marketed ourselves, how we sold, how we communicated, what we were really good at doing. And for anybody in a business, if you can nail this, we were world class at making people feel good. You do that, you'll be fine. If you can learn that, make people feel good, you'll do really, really well, regardless of the type of business. Because when people feel good about interacting with you, they want to do it again. Disney being the best example. You go to Disneyland, that people want to go. Oh, Disneyland in LA, isn't it? And Disney World in Orlando, that's right. People go to Disneyland, it costs loads of money to get in, and you spend $25 on a slice of pizza and $100 on a hoodie and some Mickey Mouse ears, but nobody says that when they come away. What they say is, "Oh, it was amazing. We felt amazing. Oh, we can't wait to go back." You can get that. If you can get that magic in your business, you'll do well.
It's so true. I want to chat on marketing for a little bit. This would be an interesting topic as well. And I'm going to try to communicate something, Simon, and hopefully you can see where I'm going with this. My first company at 25, by the way, many, many moons ago, was a marketing company. Believe it or not, I was not the finance tax. I hated numbers. The only reason I got where I am, short story, was not being able to figure out if I was making money, and then trying to figure it out and getting a love of numbers. But that's not the point of the story, right? But back in the days, because I was in the advertising world, right? The way that marketing worked is that the company set the price parameter based on what they needed to meet financially. And then the marketing department created the image to support that price point, that quality, or whatever you have it, right? I noticed today in smaller companies, once again, they hire social media and they look at the competitors, they give the cheapest price, and then they're just really doing an exposure, getting people out there, but they're not really getting into the craft of marketing, which is taking what the company needs to be at financially and giving a supporting message. And if you can't, then you don't have a company. But you know what I'm saying? I think that if I
Mm,
was to say it, Simon, I think marketing has gotten lazy in the small business
yeah.
arena, where it's no longer being clever and trying to help position the company where it needs to be financially and for the health of the company. Does that resonate with all you at all? Can you take up on that and
Yeah,
tell
no,
them what marketing
I
should
think
be?
you're absolutely right. I think it's very insightful that, and you're right. We live in a world of instant gratification, and it almost bleeds into the business owner. Oh well, I'll just, if I put some posts on Instagram and Facebook, people will come to me. They
Right.
won't. You've got to market, and marketing is the I have a solution to a problem, because anything that we buy or invest in solves a problem in our life. If I want to go and buy a new car, the problem is I don't like the car that I've got. But it doesn't matter whatever it is. And I think I'm a big believer of tried and true when it comes to marketing. There's things that, even with the onset of social media marketing, and the guys that I work with now, that's our marketing is social media based. That's the front end marketing that we do. But the tried and true never goes away. Never, like I said, never stop talking to customers. Send out weekly emails, newsletters. Something that comes through somebody's letterbox now is valuable. Where in the past it used to be, we'd get loads of letters. Now, if you can go and find a company that can make you a flyer, a newsletter, what we call something like a three-step mailer, something like that, that goes through somebody's door. Get out and doing community events. Put the hard yards. Do the things that others don't want to do. While everyone else is messing around on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok doing silly videos and daft dances, get out into the community. Where do your customers go socially? Where can I be? Where can I put my business in front of them? How do I do that? Where do I need to be? And get out and get after it. And marketing should not be something that hangs off the end of your business. It is critical. It is the fuel that drives your business forward. That and your sales is the engine of your business. So commit to it, discipline, relentlessness as well. Don't just, I see this a lot. Hey, we're doing this thing. And then 3 months later, oh, are you still running them? No, we stopped doing that because this next shiny thing came along.
Yeah.
And then when you do it, record it, find out what works, find out what brings it in, and then do it again. And then keep doing it and keep doing it. Be
Yeah.
relentless.
Yeah.
Being successful at something is boring. Sorry to shatter everyone's illusion, but it is. You've got to do the hard yards. You've got to put them things in. But we do see it a lot. Well, if I do some, the like say TikTok videos and this, that, and the other, it's not enough because anyone can do that. The value. I wrote a book. Like it's an actual book. It's not just a picture. It does exist. And what I wrote it for a couple of reasons, but one of them is because it's valuable now. The printed word is more valuable. My son's 14 years old. He collects vinyl records. He can download anything he wants off Spotify, and he does, but he loves that. The value is now in the things that are hard to attain. And if you can do that and get out there and do things like that, you'll set yourself apart.
Yeah, I want to talk on your son's vinyl records. This concept. It's funny because I was planning on going there anyway with my next thought and question, and the vinyl records is perfect for it. When you're around and alive enough, and I know the old expression my mother used to say, and maybe somebody in the audience might remember this. My mother would say, I'm going to keep those bell bottoms in the attic because they're going to come back in style someday. That was always the old expression. But the
Yeah.
concept I'm talking about now is that things change, and then everybody, it's like humans are so funny. They're like little herds. They all run over here, and then one goes, but wait, I like this. And then they run over there, and they kind of go back and forth. And I remember back in early days of business when everybody was downsizing in the big corporations and suddenly customer service just fell dead, which is still true today, right? I on the my we didn't have websites back there. I was like, no, we didn't have websites, but part of my marketing slogan, and somebody wrote it, it was, I don't remember the poet, so I can't give credit to it, so I apologize on that, but it said, there's no traffic jam on the extra mile. And it was just saying to people, we're a small company and we listen. I mean, I literally did a survey and people said they love working with us because we listen. My point is that I think we're at that point again where just getting a human on the phone, just being able to talk to somebody, just being able to brainstorm with a human has become like the golden goose. So going back to everything you just were saying about get where your customers are, I think we're actually taking a turning point where the individual that isn't even spending a ton on, let's say, marketing dollars for exposure, but just answers the phone, has a conversation, and is real, has become a really somebody that stands out from the
Yeah.
crowd now. And so I think we have to really look at what is now becoming valued by our customers. I'll let you take it from there.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. I think a funny story just on that about calling. I was in, I think this was in Florida actually. I saw a van and it was like Bill's Landscape Gardeners. And all it said on the side was, "We will call you back." I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I love
Yeah,
it.
I know.
I love it
I don't
because
even need
that's
it, but
our,
I'm going to buy from
yeah,
you.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And you're right. And part of what we do when anyone comes into our world the guys that we work with, we mystery shop them and we call them. And trust me, we get all ends of the scale. And the ones where it goes to an answer phone, voicemail, like, hey, we'll call you back. It's like, do you want me to be your customer?
Yeah.
And you're right. There's nothing, and as much as with the onset of AI and all of that sort of thing, nothing will beat the connectivity between two people because I think there's a lot of things around in business that are convenient for the business, but inconvenient for the customer.
Yeah.
Like my dad, he's 75, bless him, right? If he rang up and he got an AI voice, he wouldn't know what to do with it because he'd start chattering about something and start telling it stories and he wouldn't know what to do. So we've got to understand that nothing beats that. The spontaneity of conversation, the fact that when somebody calls up and that person on the phone is just says, "Hey, look, tell me more about you," and listens, and I feel heard, and then I feel understood before I am in the need to understand, which happens a lot. A lot of businesses we are talked at. It's like you call it and say, "Hey, we do this and we do this and we've got this," and it's like, "So what?" Like we need to know, are you a good fit for each other? So asking the right questions. And then when a question is answered and the person on the phone says, "Oh, you remind me of Sally that I was just speaking to yesterday," and things like that. And we get that connection. You're absolutely right. And it comes down to, again, the people that you have inside of your business. The people in the business are the biggest assets that you
Yeah.
will have. And the people are the reason why your business will typically succeed or fail. But you're absolutely right. I won't ever be shaken off, and again, working in the sort of the private practice healthcare world, that front desk role will never be replaced with AI because AI doesn't know when Sally walks through the door that her son plays baseball with your son and actually, oh, they go to school together. No, what's the coincidence? And we get talking and things like that. It can help in certain aspects of things. Of course, it is. It's very beneficial, but nothing will beat that. Nothing will beat that connection. And again, the thing that I learned is that if I'm listened to, um, if I feel like I'm heard and I feel understood before I am made to understand, when that phone goes down, I'm like, yeah, these guys get me because there's
Yeah.
so many out there. There's hundreds and thousands of businesses that they make you feel like they don't want you to be their customer.
Yeah, I
It
agree. I
doesn't
love
take a
what you just
lot.
said. Yeah, and I'm not trying to stop you. I just love that you said a lot of businesses we are talked at.
Mm,
I write these things down immediately because it's so true. You call somebody and it's like, wait a minute, you're not helping me to buy from you. It's almost like I'm an inconvenience. And I think it's just becoming a social norm, and we're not realizing that we're actually
yeah,
doing it to our customers as well. And I think the advantage of it is that to be ahead of the crowd with your competitors doesn't necessarily throwing a lot more money at social media. I mean, basically just talking with somebody, listening to them, calling them back. These are
yeah,
inexpensive things you can do in your
exactly.
company and suddenly stand out more than
Absolutely.
any others.
Of course, and you could have the best social media in the world, and you can create and portray. Social media is a perception. It is a perception of how I think your business is. But if I call you up and your front desk has got the personality of a traffic code, your social media means nothing.
Yeah,
All
it,
right.
absolutely.
There is a phrase that says, how you do anything is how you do everything.
Mhm.
I think it's more how you are perceived you do anything is how you are perceived you do everything.
Yeah.
So if I get on the phone and I have a fabulous phone call with somebody, it really does make me feel good, then you are not, then by my irrational human brain, you are an amazing physical therapist or optician or whatever the mechanic, whatever the thing might be. Also, if I get on the phone and you happen to be the world's best physical therapist and your front desk has zero social skills and can't hold a conversation, you're a dreadful physical therapist. Because that's
Yeah.
how we think.
Yeah.
That's the irrationality of the human brain. That how we perceive we do anything is how we're perceived we do everything. So you're absolutely right that all of these things that we do and we can push things out there again, which is image, and social media is just our ego portrayed, how great we are. But really that's what it comes down to. It's that thing of the how you make me feel is really more important than what you can do. Just on that as well, I don't know what type of businesses everybody is, but something that I've been doing a lot around at the minute is commitment. Can I go into this? Is this all right? Or am I jumping ahead?
No,
It's
no,
just while
keep
it's top of
going.
my head.
Keep
Um,
going, please.
so, uh, if you run a business where what you are selling means that somebody has to spend some time with you. So, like Sadie just put there about a Pilates studio, something where you have to go to somewhere, right? And the big resistance I'm getting at the moment with the guys that I am working with is so they're red light therapists. Oh, people won't pay the money for red light therapy in my town is one, and we don't want to charge this, we don't want to charge that, or we're always getting objections about the price. Here's the thing: in your businesses, look at your business and ask yourself this question: if I didn't charge any money for what I do, so again, it's probably going to be more service based than product based. But if I did not charge any money, if we lived in a weird world where money didn't exist,
Right.
and I came in and you said, Simon, for you to get out of back pain and get back playing golf again, I need to see you twice a week for the next 6 weeks. Whether I pay you money for that doesn't make it any shorter. So actually, what's the commitment that we're looking for? The commitment that we're looking for is you need to get me to change my priorities because we're all busy. We all have 1,001 things to do. So what we need to find out is how do I get Simon to jump in his car 3 times a week, drive to my clinic, spend 45 minutes with me, and then drive home again? How do I make sure that that's the commitment that I'm getting so that Simon wants to do that? Well, it's because we make sure that the conversation isn't about the thing that Simon is doing, it's about the outcome that he will achieve, the goal and the value. So for me, say it would be, right, I want to get Simon back playing golf. That's the important thing. And the other one that we don't talk about as well, when we're in this commitment, we talk about money. It's never about money because if it was about money, nobody would ever buy a business class seat on an aeroplane because the plane
Right.
takes off and lands in the same place. It's about the cost, and the cost is the implication of your customer not doing the thing you want them to do. And we don't ask them that question because we're all too nice when we need to be kind. All right. So when you're sat in front of somebody and you've offered them and you give them a choice and a recommendation, and they go, well, I'll need to go and think about it. Ask them this. Say, Laurie, quick, if you don't mind me asking, how are you going to solve this problem by not working with me? And
Yeah,
this
I
needs to
love that.
start happening in
Yeah.
business. We've got to get to that point because if you're not doing people a good service by just being too nice. And I'm not don't that doesn't mean don't not be nice, don't be nasty, but be kind as well as being
Yeah.
nice. Sorry, I went off
Well,
on a tangent there,
no,
Lawrence.
you didn't go off on a tangent. I think there is a lot of brilliant in what you said. In fact, there's something I wrote down to that. And I just want to say you know, I think the word nice, and this has always been a pet peeve of mine because it's used so weirdly. It's like just asking a question and inquiring becomes nice or not nice. So I'm agreeing with you. That's not the difference of being nice. That's the difference of being caring about a person who just told you their situation and inquiring how are they going to resolve it. So I think it's wonderful. And I want to go back to I always write down things you say. There, you said something I think that needs to be unpacked just a bit more. You spoke about you need to get them, or you need to get me, because we were talking about the situation, to change my priority. If a customer cannot at all afford what you're buying, they're not a customer. That's a given. Okay, that's a given.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
usually we don't have somebody that can't afford your service at all or your product. They don't have a belief that the cost is going to give them the value, exactly what you're saying. So if somebody says, oh, but you know what, I can get back to playing golf and I love golf, suddenly that cost doesn't matter. They will prioritize that over maybe the weekend trip to wherever. So I
Yeah.
think that that is such a valuable point you made, Simon, that we can't miss, that people who contact us usually have the money. They just don't know if they're going to get the value. And then when they're talked at, you're not giving them that feeling of that value. So I just wanted to bring that full circle because I think
Yeah.
that's key,
Yeah.
you said.
Yeah, you're right. You do. If the what's the phrase? Is the juice worth the squeeze?
Yeah,
Ultimately.
very much so.
And
You
it
know,
doesn't matter what it costs. If it's not, if the outcome is not important enough to me for me to put the effort in, doesn't matter how much you charge. If you gave it for free, I wouldn't do it.
yeah. Another thing on the same vein of thought that I'm noticing, and this has to do with the fact that, just saying we'll call you back makes you stand out from the crowd. I think that one of the things, and I'll explain what I mean by this, I'm going to use the word trust, but I'm going to take it down a different pathway, right? When I was younger and in business, just the act of handing somebody a business card, you knew they were legitimate, because who could afford a business card? You didn't just go get business cards printed up. So if they go, I got a business card, well, then they're legit, right? Remember, that was all that somebody had to hand you. Well,
Yeah,
today we've got so many people working out of their home, working online. You don't know if they really exist. I think that there is a whole new layer in your marketing and your exposure where you have to almost kind of get them to understand I'm real, not like a real company, but like I really exist. I'm here to help you. I'm not a facade that you buy something and you don't ever
yeah,
hear back from me, because so many are. Do you see that feeling of, are you really smoke and mirror? Do you really exist? Because you could have a beautiful
yeah,
website and I could have a shopping cart, but I just purchased from, and this is what
yeah,
causes most people to go like to an Amazon. I'm not saying that's good or
yeah,
bad. I know it's
yeah,
me.
yeah,
I'll go to an Amazon for that reason. I won't buy direct because I know it's going to be covering me. Can
yeah.
you comment on this now mysterious virtual trust thing that I think we
Yeah.
also have to
Yeah,
communicate?
no, it's a really good question. Again, the guys that we work with, we're running ads through social media, and then it's like, well, hey, if I buy this thing, like, how do I legitimize it? Now, the first
Yeah,
thing that they do when with ours, as soon as they get an email, there's a contact number and all of that. But I also think to your point, three things need to be established: expertise, authority, and trustworthiness. How do we do that? Well, the minute somebody starts to show some interest, and the minute you can get somebody's contact details, social proof is huge. Get testimonials, get videos, get reviews, do case studies, send them out. Um, I would probably do something like this. If somebody showed some interest in me, that I would probably send them 3 or 4 emails. The first one would be who I am. It would be my story. This is me. If I was talking about the book, like, this is me. This is how I worked. This is what I've done, etc., etc. Then I would get some social proof. I'd get some testimonials, and then I would probably send something that it might if somebody was inquiring about something, positioning myself as an expert, something like a case study. Case study is me telling you what's happened. Testimony is the client telling you what's happened, essentially. Um,
yeah,
to then go over the top of that, I would do something like this. If I was wanting to increase my EAT, expertise, authority, and trustworthiness, I'd go to my local newspaper and local radio station and say, "Hey, I have got something here that is a benefit to your readers/listeners. I'm happy to provide you with content, either written, or I'm happy to do a weekly chat on the radio to put that out." And the next thing you know, you're walking through Costco and somebody tugs you and go, "Hey, are you the guy that writes in the local newspaper?" "Yeah, that's me." "Cool. Oh, I love it," etc., etc.
yeah. Yeah, yeah, I agree. And speaking of the guy, I recognize you about writing in the local newspaper. This is what I thought of immediately on that. I talk to people a lot, and it depends on the company and the business model, but for the most part, it makes so much sense to own your local area first. So many people we're an internet, I can be selling overseas, and they haven't even started yet. I'm exaggerating, but not too often on
No,
that.
no, you're
And
right.
there's so much benefit to just growing your local area and realizing, and I tell people all this time, you are not a big corporation that needs to steal market share away from another company. You need a few customers and you're rolling in the dough. But they think in this weird way, like I'm going to be all over and I'm going to be across the United States. Just look at your own backyard first, is what I tell people. I know
Yeah.
you're nodding on this, so you've got some thoughts on this as well. Can you comment on
Yeah,
this?
that's it's ego again. Like you're right, absolutely right. If you look at, I live in a small town in the northeast of England. 50,000 people live here. If I set up a business right now, my number one target is to be the number one choice in Newton Aycliffe, the town that I live in, for whatever the thing that I might be doing. That's it. Because I know, and if I've got a repeatable business where people will come back to me and buy from me again and again, why do I need to go further afield? Closest customer first. Like it just seems it makes sense. Your marketing costs will be less. You become it's easier to become that local celebrity, if you
Right.
like, in your town and in your area. And like you said, why do you need to compete with somebody who's 3,000 miles away when you've got a customer who could be next door to you?
Yeah, absolutely. I think that so much of what we're talking about is common sense. And I tell people all the time, we don't really need more intelligence. We could use, Chat GPT to get some stats for us. We don't need more intelligence. What we need is some wisdom. We need wisdom. We're lacking in wisdom. And, a bit ago when we were talking and you were saying you don't follow through with the marketing and then you try the next shiny thing, it reminds me of, I don't think the saying is in existence anymore, but it's throw the spaghetti up the wall and see what sticks. I feel like that's what everybody does. And they're just running and doing this and running and do this. There's not really a let me step back, let me make a plan, let me use
Yeah,
common sense, and let me do wisdom. And I think that's where you can really stand out from the crowd with a lot less marketing
yeah,
dollars and more financial benefit.
yeah. You're right. I think planning it out. You can plan out a full year's marketing. You could build out your Halloween marketing campaign now. You could do it, build it, have it ready to go, so that when you need to push the button, it's done. You can set out do a marketing calendar. Um, you could do every month there is something. January, New Year, February, Valentine's Day, March, St. Patrick's Day, April, start of spring. There's always something that you can align. If you want to hook your marketing onto something, just look at them. There's always something. The anniversary of the day that you opened your business, your birthday, whatever it might want to be, whatever you want to do, 4th of July, Thanksgiving. There's so many that you can do. Map it all out. Sit down with a calendar and go, right, what we're going to talk about in January, what we're going to talk about in February. And then at the end of December, we go back to January again. Because that's what's great about the years. They come back and they start again.
Yep, exactly. And I was thinking to your clients with the red light therapy, and I think this feeds into this as well. I think some companies have gotten away from the fact that they have to first educate their customers on what they do and why they need it, because somebody may not even know what that is, right? But I think this is across many businesses where one just assumes when speaking or via marketing or communication with their customer, like they're in their world, they know exactly. They don't even get to the explanation of what it is and why somebody wants to buy it. They're just jumping into like you and I've been friends forever. You know this, you know what that is. So can we talk to the need to understand that marketing can also be a requirement of explaining to the customer what it is you do and why it
Yeah.
matters?
Yeah. Yeah. And you start with the who. Who is my customer? If this is, and again, if you are starting out in business, who would be like, write them down. Who is my ideal, perfect customer? Like, build them, create an avatar. Once you know who that person is, it starts to get easier to talk to them. So when we know who we're talking to, then our next one is why are we doing this? What problem are we trying to solve? So you could be a PT clinic in LA, and you could say, we are LA's number one PT clinic, and we have experienced and friendly physical therapists. Or you could say, here at Laurie's PT Clinic, we keep members of the LA community fit, healthy, out of doctors' offices, avoiding unnecessary surgeries, and living happy, active, and fulfilled lives. That's now talking to somebody. we know if you're a PT, if you have to tell them that you've got friendly physical therapists, there's something wrong,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
know? So that we set the standard with this is who we are for. Then we back it up with how we do and what we do. Then we can get into with the fully, team of highly trained individuals. You work one-on-one with your PTs to achieve your goal. Here at Laurie's PT Clinic, we love to work with people who are looking for effective solutions to problems. We keep golfers golfing. We keep grandparents looking after their grandkids. We keep hikers hiking, whatever it might be. And then again, you can underpin it with, by embracing the latest technology and using things like shockwave, cryo, red light, and dry needling, proven techniques to help people. That is how I would position it. Who it is, why we're doing it. Then we get into what we do, and then the last one is the how we do it.
Yeah, yeah. In that conversation, to extrapolate on it, the concept of being niche versus generalist. Now, Emma, I know you're out there, so I'm gonna bring Emma into this game. I think
Emma's a
one of
friendly
the things
physical therapist.
I know she is a friendly. I love Emma. Everybody knows that. But I think one of the brilliant things that Emma has done is this focus on the tennis elbow and the tennis elbow queen. It has
Yeah.
allowed her to use Facebook because she could have a very specific. So I think that Emma has just done phenomenal. I have her on the show all the time. But, she is a perfect example of what I would call, you can change on what you would call, and Emma, you can, but I would call very successful niche marketing. Very successful niche marketing. So many companies question, do I be niche marketing? Do I be a generalist? And that's the fight that's been going on forever. I think today companies don't even figure out where to commit. They don't even really even think it through. They just kind of
Yeah.
are a little bit like tofu. They blend in. They have no flavor of their own. Okay, you companies,
Yeah.
you're a bunch of tofu. You just blend in with whatever's around you. That was a good one.
Yeah.
I like that one.
It
But
is.
anyway, how does somebody not be a tofu company, Simon?
Well, there's a great phrase in the UK, which is this: you cannot be everybody's cup of tea because then you'll be a mug. All right? You can't be. You cannot be an expert in everything. All right.
Right.
So, like I say, the guys we only work with businesses that offer red light therapy. We're very specific on the type of marketing that we do. We don't diversify too much, and it works. And we are the best in the world at doing it. And it's the same with Emma. So Emma, in 5 seconds, you know what Emma does. She's a tennis elbow queen. Oh, cool. Does that mean that she will only work with people that have tennis elbow? Probably not. But what we know is straight away is who Emma is helping, what she's doing. Again, she's positioned herself very quickly as that expert. And it two countries divided by a common language. It niche, not niche. Drives me mad. All right. Okay. But you're right. The get specific. Don't try. If you're too general, you'll spread yourself too thin. And better to be. Don't try and be a jack of all trades because you'll become a master of none.
Yeah.
Find out the thing, and you might try different things. There's nothing wrong with sort of trying something and being okay with it not working. But really, find the thing that you're really, really good at. Focus in on that. Hone right in on that. The minute you spread yourself to thin, it's like, well, do I come to you for this, or is it this, or do you do this, or this? Nothing wrong with diversification of revenue, but that needs to sit behind the reason that I would come to you in the first place. So I might go to a red light clinic because I need some help with, inflammation or, weight loss or whatever. That might be my primary reason. But when I get there and they go, hey, Sam, we've got some other things that based on what you've told us, we can help you with. That's okay because I've already committed to working with you. But when you try and spread yourself too thin and do far too many things, it's a bit like, well, I can put a scalpel in my son's hand. It doesn't make him a surgeon.
Right.
Like be known for what you're known for and make it really easy for people to understand why you would want to work with them.
Absolutely. I'm going to throw two questions so you can intertwine them in the last 6 minutes that we have here. And, don't have to stop at exactly 6 minutes, but just around that. And that's two. The first one, Simon, like you said, you got different countries. I know you're in United States a bit. You're in England. You've been around different businesses. You're talking to people in all different states. I just would love to hear just your thoughts on what are you noticing? What do you find interesting about business? What do you feel changed given, our age that you didn't see coming? So any comments on that, and then intertwined with how do you work with clients? What do you do? Your own marketing about your book. So please take the rest of the time, go anywhere you want with those two questions. But I want to make sure the audience knows who you are and how to get in touch with you if they want to.
Yeah, I mean, the things that I see, it's a really cool place to be. That I'm over here, and yet I work over on your side of the pond. But I love business. I love being around it. I love getting involved in it all. I think the thing that I would say is treat business like poker. Play the player, not the game. Understand human behavior. Get to learn what makes people tick, what's going on in their heads. Um, I think when you start to do that, and you start to understand how different personalities and how different characters move at different paces when they're doing different things, and you get better at asking questions and understanding if people make decisions emotionally or logically, if they make them quickly, if they make them slowly, and you start to understand that more, I think it'll give you a little bit more of a head start. Don't get too swallowed up in what I do is the most important thing.
Yeah.
The most important thing is who I do this for. And if you can start to do that, I think you'll really see your business jump forward because you'll start to understand people on a deeper level. Um, and for me personally, like I said, the book, I've worked in the sort of private practice. I'm not medically trained. I'm not a physio or a PT or anything like that, but I've worked with that many of them and people like Emma, who's amazing. I love her. She's incredible. And it inspired me to just take all the things that I'd learned and read. And being British, obviously we're on this tiny little island and we're loud and we shout a lot, and now we can't keep our mouths shut. And I tend to question a lot of things. So I look at what somebody might say, um, and I'll question it and go, is that really the right thing? So I put a lot of things like that in the book, and just trying to help people think differently, act differently, behave differently, look at things slightly differently, get away from don't live a life of where you have to be right. You can
Yeah.
be wrong and happy rather than right and miserable. Um, the thing that I've sort of been working with recently is blame. Don't live a life of blame. Don't be a victim. Things happen. Good things happen to bad people and bad things happen to good people. We can blame all we want to do, but it's just going to sap your energy. What we've got to do is pick ourselves up, move forward, and learn from it. There'll be days in your business where you feel like giving up, and there's days in your business where you feel like you're top of the world. When you feel like top of the world, take a second, stop, look figuratively over your shoulder and go, look what we've done.
Yeah.
Don't ever forget that. You guys, you are the 1% of the 1%. If you have set a business up, you should be applauded because you've took a risk, because there's 99.9% of the people will talk a good game and you've done it. If anyone wants to get in touch with me, you can go to the website, wherever it is, wealthandwellnessbook.com. You can email me. It's hello@wealthandwellnessbook.com. You can find me on Instagram. It's Simon P. Godding on Instagram. The book's on Amazon if you want to get a copy of it. It would be fantastic if you did. I'm halfway through the second one as well, so there's another one coming. But yeah, my day job working with these guys, we run the marketing, we do performance-based marketing. But really what we find is that everything inside of a business, when you do something and you create a new problem, so what we're really building out is how do we help them solve the next problem and the next one, and help them understand which is the next problem and what will it look like if it goes well, because problems aren't always bad things, and what will it look like if it goes badly, and helping them think on the other side of the decision a little bit more. So that's the day job. That's what I do every single day, and I've got an amazing team. Like I say, we've grown a business between us, and it's going incredibly well. If anybody is using red light therapy and wants to come and talk to me, that would be fabulous. But everyone wants to talk to me about business, life, people, whatever. It's something I love doing. And I'm actually going to be in LA in September. I'm coming over in September.
Oh, nice. And
Um,
on a last note with life, one of the parts from your beginning bio I read is also the importance of making choices in your business so you don't forego your personal life and the things that matter. So,
yeah,
quick comment on that as we end, because I
yeah,
think that is so important as
yeah.
well.
Um, all I would say is this: build a business that gives you the choices that you want to make in life.
Yeah.
Be the business is the vehicle that takes you to the places that you want to go. Do not let it become an anchor or a ball and chain that prevents you from getting there.
Yeah, absolutely. It took me some time in my career because at first I was building the career to have the emotion of I'm good enough, I have a career, right? But it's been decades now that I always understand it's a method for me to experience the life I want to experience. And
Yeah.
that way makes business fun, business and life.
Yeah.
I always say there's magic fairy dust in my life, whether it's sprinkling on me that day or not, it is in my life and
That's
I'm going to maintain it. We had a quick question from Leslie. Do you do public speaking and network events? You can reach out to Leslie if you want, but I'll just
I
lay you a little.
do.
Yep,
Yeah,
perfect.
happy to do things like that. I was just I've done some. I'm talking with the APTA at the moment to see if we want something doing there. But yeah, happy to do anything like that. Absolutely.
Perfect. Simon, I have personally enjoyed it. I'm so glad because today I was telling Sadie, I go, I'm kind of tired. I think I'm bored with myself. I don't know if I could even entertain myself for an hour. Usually I have the Ask Lori days and I'm very entertaining. I was like, I don't think I can entertain myself today, let alone anybody else. So glad. Sorry we sent you off to another world at first with the
All
link, but I'm
right.
glad you got here. And I'm going to beg you to
All
come
good.
back on again. I
100%.
really, I really, really loved where our conversation went because it was about nothing specific, but everything that mattered. That's how I would talk about our conversation. I think it really was. Any last thoughts you want to leave with the audience before we end it for today?
I think just what I said there. Just if you're owning a business and running a business, then don't beat yourself up. There'll be times when you want to, as we say in England, jack it all in. But there's also times when it's the best thing in the world. You'll hear people say, "Don't let the highs get too high, the lows get too low." Definitely don't let the lows get too low. Don't blame yourself. Don't blame other people. Pick up, learn, move forward, keep going. And when things are going well, put as much emphasis on what you did to make it go well as you would as if it wasn't going well.
I think that's very sound advice. I know I tend to, and everybody does it. The minute, we succeed at something, we forget it. We don't build the confidence. So thank you so much. So Sadie, wasn't that a great conversation? You didn't have to just hear me talk all day.
It was like being like at a mental spa or something. I'm like, oh, ooh, I feel good.
I do too. So thank you so much, Emma, out there. Thank you for introducing me to Simon. I love having you on the show, Simon. Good luck with your second book. And when your second book releases, come back on and tell us
I
about it.
will
Okay. That would be a
definitely.
great entry for you to come back on with your second book. So we're going
100%.
to plan on that. So,
Thank you very
guys,
much.
I could see from the comments, this was another one of those great small biz talks. So, my frequent flyers that are with me every week, love you. Thank you so much. If you're new to the show, please tune in next week to Small Biz Talk with your host, Lori Williams. Bye, Simon. Bye, Sadie. Sadie's
Thanks,
going to stay
everyone.
behind and make sure Simon's information's in the chat. You can pick it all up. Bye, everybody.
Bye, Lori. See you next week. All righty, guys. You know the drill. I'm gonna hang out a little bit afterwards, just make sure that everyone can get the links. I put everything back down here again because I just wanted to make sure that everyone had info, had Simon's info, Lori's webinars. So I'm gonna hang out for a few. I am gonna put myself on mute, but don't worry, we're gonna keep this going because I know once I close down the Zoom, it goes away and all that fun stuff. So I want to make sure you guys get everything. But what I am going to put down over here for you guys, if you're not yet a client of the SBDC, please become a client. It is your tax dollars at work. So we love Lori. She is a great business advisor, but we have subject matter experts in other fields like marketing. If you're going to open up a brick and mortar, like you need someone to look at your lease agreement, restaurants, maybe you want to do like something that's like a street vendor, health code, requirements, all these things. We have subject matters experts in almost every single field. And if we don't have it at one particular center, we can put you in touch with someone else because we are a network that covers, I would say, a large area of the Southern California area. So enjoy my dog barking. I'm going to put myself on mute. Please let me know if you need anything else in addition. All righty. See you next week, guys. Hey there, Bonnie. I see that you raised your hand. I just wanted to let you know that I put the SBDC contact info there for you. We have several offices, so it's more about what's more convenient to you. So click on the link that says new client. That'll take you into the portal for the SBDC. And I think that if you do like the outside of LA, maybe you just type in your zip code. I haven't been to that outside of LA one in a few, but I mean, worst case scenario, just give us a call. Sometimes the phone call is easier, right? And then you can figure out if the most convenient SBDC is like maybe one that, your juice bar. Is it your morning commute? It's all about what's most convenient to you. So definitely reach out. But yeah, let's get you going. Let's get you signed up. All righty, guys, I'm about to close this down, but I know that Bonnie is on the phone and she is on her way to becoming a client. So I hopefully you guys got everything and we will see you next week. Until then, have an awesome one.